Our next guest is one like we've never had on this show before. He's a fourth-generation psychic medium, a best-selling author, and a former trial attorney who now travels the world exploring the mysteries of the afterlife. Here to share more is the psychic explorer, Mark Anthony. Mark, thanks for joining us here at Live in the Bay.
Thank you, Jessica. It's an honor to be here.
I'm so happy to have with you. You have such a fascinating career. You were a very successful lawyer, and now you are a psychic explorer. How do you make that transition?
Well, it's a long story, and I certainly go into it in my books, Evidence of Eternity and the Afterlife Frequency, but it was a calling. And it got to the point because my mediumistic abilities run in the family. Both my parents had these abilities. My dad was a U.S. Navy SEAL, my mom a commercial artist. So we were kind of the unusual family in the neighborhood, kind of like the metaphysical Addams family, if you will. But when I was about 3.5 years old, I started seeing spirits. And initially I was going to go into the clergy, but I decided to go to law school. But then it got to the point where I needed to pursue my work as a medium full-time.
And were there aspects of your law career that you took into being a medium?
Absolutely. Both occupations rely on evidence. As an attorney, you have to have evidence to prove your case in court. And as a psychic medium, what I have to do, Jessica, is bring forth pieces of evidence to guarantee the authenticity of the contact, things I could not possibly know. But both careers are also about helping people. Certainly lawyers help people through difficult times, but as a medium, what I do is help people understand that someone that they loved so much did not just disintegrate, but rather lives on as an immortal living spirit. And like we were talking before we went on about Mother's Day, this is a very painful time for people who've lost their moms.
Yeah.
And it's important to understand that your relationship with someone you love, like your mom or whoever it is who's passed, didn't end. It's rather transformed from one of a physical nature to now one of a spiritual nature.
Wow, that's incredible. I love that you are helping people to heal, because you're right. This is a holiday that is very joyous for some and can bring a lot of pain for others. Take me through how that exactly works. How are you working with someone to help them grieve and understand what this new relationship is like?
As a medium, what I do is I open up my brain to higher frequencies in spirits, and I develop the term the electromagnetic soul, which provides a scientific basis for the existence of the soul and all forms of spirit communication, whether it's mediumship, near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, even reincarnation. This is part of what I will be discussing tomorrow at the New Living Expo in San Rafael. So there is a scientific basis to prove that spirit communication and the afterlife are a real thing. So what I do is when I open up my brain to higher frequencies, spirits are going to come forward. And what they do, Jessica, is they transmit electromagnetic impulses into my brain, which gets converted into recognizable concepts based on my memories, feelings, and cultural associations.
Wow.
And so I can actually communicate with the spirits of your loved ones and present information from them, and they'll tell you what's going on in your life, and they'll bring up things that no one could possibly know other than you and or the spirit.
Incredible. I know that you are just helping so many people to heal in that way, and so it's just so fascinating, your work to me. Let's talk, you mentioned it, so the New Living Expo is this weekend. What is this event all about? New
Living Expo is a wonderful event here in San Rafael, and I'll be presenting a lecture tomorrow morning called Debunking Death, the Science of Reincarnation and Near-Death Experiences. Then later in the day at 7:30 p.m., I'll be conducting a gallery event where I will be connecting random audience members with their loved ones in spirit. Also on Sunday, we have a Mother's Day light circle, limited to 6 people each, so that everyone is guaranteed a reading. But there's several other speakers as well, many topics, you know, health, wellness, holistic healing, and certainly spirituality.
Yeah, incredible. That'll be a very fun event. I know a lot of people will get so much out of that. I want to talk about your books. You've written several books. The latest one, Afterlife Frequency. Tell me all about that.
The Afterlife Frequency introduces several concepts like the electromagnetic soul, collective consciousness, communication, spiritual synchronicity, which explains that spirit contact is actually based on sound scientific principles. None of this is hocus pocus. And the beauty of it being in the 21st century, we now have the benefit of quantum physics. And I wish we had the time. I could go into some of the scientific discoveries in the last couple of years, which prove that our consciousness, our spirit, our soul, survives physical death.
Wow. Everyone will have to read to find all of that information there then. So make sure you get a copy of that book. How can people follow along and find you and learn more about you?
Certainly, I invite everyone to visit my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com, just like my book, The Afterlife Frequency. Also, every Thursday, I have a live stream show, The Psychic in the Doc, and my co-host, Dr. Pat Basile, is a world-renowned behavioral psychologist. People call in, I do readings for them. Dr. Pat helps them understand the significance of the messages. And I invite everyone to sign up at my newsletter. You can find out everything about me by visiting afterlifefrequency.com.
Amazing. Mark, one last question for you. What do you hope that people take away from all of your teachings, your books, and when they get to see you speak? What do you hope people leave with after that?
To understand, as my friend and colleague, Rhonda Schwartz, she's a fellow medium, and she said, and I firmly believe this, that we have one life, but it's eternal.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, yeah. You want to think that there is more out there and it's just going to keep getting better, right?
Absolutely.
Mark, I really appreciate you joining us here at Live in the Bay. So fascinating to talk with you, and I hope you have an amazing event this weekend.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Many blessings.